Hi guys, welcome to my channel Creatively Expressive. My name is Amy and today is the second in a series of 3 videos featuring farmhouse style home decor DIYs. I've got some super cute ideas for you, so I hope you'll stick around to see them all. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you found me and I hope you'll consider becoming a part of my creative family by subscribing to my channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, and I just want to say that I really do appreciate your continued support. Now let's get started. For our first project, I'm going to be using this Valentine's Day barn-shaped sign from the Dollar Tree and these 8-inch MDF letters that I found in a bag at Goodwill, but are originally from Walmart. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the little roof area on the barn, and then I'm going to sand off that picture area of the sign that is just paper that has been glued onto the sign. Now that I have a blank canvas to work with, I'm going to use white chalk paint to paint my sign. After I've painted my sign, I went to the Silhouette Design store and purchased this chicken wire cut file for 99 cents. I took the cut file and sized it in Silhouette Design Studio to fit my sign, and then cut it out on Stencil Vinyl with my Silhouette Cameo 4. Now I'm going to use transfer tape and parchment paper to apply my stencil to my sign. The parchment paper keeps your stencil from sticking until you have it placed correctly on your sign. Once you have your stencil where you want it, you just pull away the parchment paper. Now that my stencil is stuck on my sign, I am going to cut away some of that excess stencil and then peel away my transfer tape. Now I'm going to paint a layer of my base color over my stencil first. Doing this helps seal in the edges of your stencil, and if you have any bleed through, it will be the same color as your sign, so you won't be able to see it. Once the white paint has dried, I am going to paint on a layer of French linen chalk paint using a small stiff bristled brush. I'm going to only apply one coat and apply it lightly to give it a distressed look. Once the French linen color has dried, I'm going to remove my stencil. Then I went on Etsy and found this cute cow cut file for $2.50 and cut it using my Silhouette Cameo 4. Then I used my transfer tape and parchment paper to adhere my cute little cow to my barn sign. And then the last step for this little sign is to reattach the roof area. I'm going to be using this Starbond super glue to do that. I love this glue because it dries so quickly but not as fast as hot glue, so you don't feel as rushed as you do when you're using the hot glue. Now this sign would be super cute as it is at this point, but I'm going to make it a part of a bigger sign. I found these 8-inch MDF H, M, and E letters in a bag at Goodwill, but these letters can be found at Walmart for about $2 each. I'm going to use black chalk paint to paint both sides of each of these letters. Once the paint is dry, I'm going to dry brush each of my letters with white chalk paint. I wanted to be able to stand these letters, but since they are so thin, they are unable to stand on their own. So my solution for this was to use this 6-foot 1x4-inch piece of wood that I got from Lowe's as a base. So I'm going to cut this piece down to 28 inches long. Then I wanted to have the base for my sign match the roof on the barn. So I found this special walnut stain color that I think is a pretty close match. And I'm going to stain the 28-inch piece of wood with this color. Now I'm going to attach my letters and barn to my base. So I'm going to apply tape first to my base to help me for placement. And I'm just lining up the edges of my tape with the edges of my base. Then I am going to use this medium Starbond superglue to attach my letters. And I am trying to line up the backs of my letters with the edge of that back piece of tape. I'm going to attach my letters first and leave a space between the H and the M for the barn, which will act as the letter O. Then I remove that front piece of tape and glue on the barn just in front and between the H and the M. And now I'm going to remove the rest of my tape. I kind of glued my M slightly over that tape, which made removing the tape a little more difficult. So just be careful not to do that like I did. And once the tape is removed, our sign is complete. I absolutely love how this sign turned out, and I think it's just gorgeous. What do you guys think? Now for our second project, I'm going to use 2 of these wooden tags that I got from Dollar Tree last summer, and I'm going to remove that cork covering from each tag, and then sand them a bit. The cork side will be the back side of my tags, and I'm going to use the back side as the front. Now I'm going to paint the fronts and the backs of the tags with black chalk paint. Once the black is dried, I'm going to brush on some Cafe Noir chalk paint, painted in random spots on the tags. And then I'm going to dip my brush in that Cafe Noir and then run my finger over the bristles to add a little splatter. This would have probably worked better with a toothbrush, but I didn't have one that I wasn't using on my teeth. So now that the tags have a dirty, distressed look, I'm going to apply some Stencil Vinyl. So for the first tag, I'm using that same chicken wire cut file size to fit my tag. And I am just going to adhere that stencil using that parchment paper technique. Now I am going to paint on a layer of Mod Podge to seal in the edges of my stencil. And then when the Mod Podge is dry, I'm going to use a chip brush to brush on some white chalk paint. I'm going heavier in some areas and lighter in other areas to give it a distressed look. Then when the paint is dry, I'm going to remove my stencil. Now for the second tag, I found this cute little chicken cut file on Silhouette Design Store and added the Welcome to Our Coop to it in my Silhouette Design Studio. So I'm going to apply this stencil to my second tag. And you can see for this one, I kept the inner parts of the stencil instead of the outside because I want the majority of this tag to be white. So now that I have my stencil attached, I'm going to first apply a layer of Mod Podge over the stencil area, and then let the Mod Podge dry. Now I'm going to brush on white chalk paint, going heavier in some areas and lighter in others, and even leaving some areas not completely covered to give my tag a distressed look. And now that the paint has dried, I will remove my stencil . And I am going to stack my lighter tag over the darker one and then use a pencil just slightly under that top tag to mark the bottom of the tag so that I know where to put my glue. And then I am going to use a combination of gel super glue and hot glue to attach my two tags together. Now I'm going to make a bow for the tags using this buffalo check ribbon that I got at Michael's just after Christmas for 70% off. I don't make bows that often, so I still find it a bit confusing sometimes, and this was actually like my 10th attempt at folding it. So I'm going to leave the speed at real time so you guys can see what I'm doing. First I make a loop leaving a tail, and then I pinch the ribbon together at the bottom of my loop and twist the ribbon where I pinched it together. Now you should have the back side of your ribbon facing you, and then you'll form another loop on the opposite side, the same size as your first loop. Then pinch it and twist the ribbon again so the back side is facing you and form a second loop on the first side, slightly smaller than the first loop, and pinch that new loop in the middle. Then twist your ribbon again and form a smaller loop on the second side. Now pinch that new loop in the center with the rest. Now I use a pipe cleaner twisted around that center area to secure my bow. Now use scissors to cut a second tail and then trim off the rest of the pipe cleaner. Now I take more ribbon and I pinch the ends together and hot glue that to the back of my bow. Then wrap the ribbon around the center of the bow, cut the ribbon and pinch the end together and hot glue that end to the back of the bow. Now just cut the tails at an angle and use a lighter to seal in the ends to keep the ribbon from unraveling. Now I'm going to make a hanger with jute twine for my tags and then hot glue my bow to my tags. And now you have a cute farmhouse door tag. What do you guys think? Now for the last project, I found this cute farmhouse picture at Goodwill for $1.49. I love the picture, but I wasn't crazy about the painted frame. The frame is wood, so I decided to just sand off the paint and then refinish it. Now I'm going to mix Cafe Noir chalk paint with water to make a faux stain. Then I just brush on the faux stain and then wipe it off with a paper towel. Then I reapply and wipe off again until I get the coverage I want. And then when the frame is dry, I'm going to brush on white finishing wax over the frame and wipe it off with a paper towel. just going to put my frame back together, and that's it for this project. It was super easy since it already included that farmhouse image. I'm not sure where the image is originally from, but if one of my viewers knows, let me know in the comments section below. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope it's inspired you. If you did enjoy the DIYs that I've shared with you today, then please show me some love by giving me a thumbs up, commenting, or even sharing this video with anyone that you think might enjoy it. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!